The salvage bay of the Meridian outpost hummed with the usual cacophony of grinding metal and hissing hydraulics. Parker wiped grease from his hands onto his already stained jumpsuit, surveying the wreckage before him. Another day, another broken piece of alien tech that somehow found its way to his workbench. "You the human mechanic?" A voice crackled through a helmet speaker, sharp and distorted. Parker glanced up to find an armored figure standing in the doorway. The suit was Keltharian. He recognized the distinctive hexagonal plating and the faint blue glow of their energy shields. Battle-scarred and dented, it had clearly seen better days. "That's what they tell me," Parker replied, setting down his tools. "What can I do for you?" The figure stepped closer, and he noticed the limp in her gait. "My armor's compromised." Took a plasma burst to the left torso section. "Life support's flickering, and I've got a mission in 6 hours. Parker raised an eyebrow. 6 hours? That's not much time for Keltharian tech. "That stuff's complicated. I was told you're the best." There was an edge to her voice, not quite desperation, but close. He studied the damage. The armor was indeed sophisticated, far beyond most species' engineering capabilities. The Keltharians were known for their precision, their almost obsessive attention to detail. Their suits were works of art as much as they were protective gear. "All right," Parker said, gesturing to the examination platform. "Let's see what we're working with." She climbed onto the platform, and Parker began his assessment. The damage was extensive. The plasma burst had melted through 3 layers of composite plating and fried the internal circuitry. But it wasn't impossible. Nothing was impossible for human ingenuity. Or so his instructors at the Terran Engineering Corps had drilled into him. "I'm Nancy, by the way," the armored figure offered. "Lieutenant Nancy of the Keltharian Expeditionary Fleet." "Parker." "Just Parker." He pulled out his diagnostic scanner, running it over the damaged section. "So what's this mission that can't wait?" "Classified." "Of course it is." Parker smirked, pulling up the readouts on his datapad. "You know, your people designed this armor to be nearly impossible to repair without specialized Keltharian tools." "I'm aware." Nancy's voice carried a hint of amusement now. "That's why I came to a human." Parker chuckled. "Because we're too stubborn to accept impossible as an answer?" "Something like that." For the next several hours, Parker worked in focused silence. He'd learned early in his career that alien technology wasn't actually as alien as it seemed. Physics was physics, energy was energy. The Keltharians might use different methods, different materials, but the underlying principles remained constant. The trick was thinking like a human while understanding like a Keltharian. He bypassed the fried circuits entirely, rerouting power through secondary conduits he jerry-rigged from spare parts. The melted plating was trickier, but he managed to fabricate a patch using a carbon-tungsten alloy that would actually be stronger than the original. "You're not even looking at the manual," Nancy observed at one point. Parker didn't glance up from his work. "Manuals are for people who need permission to be creative. That's very human of you." "I'll take that as a compliment." As he worked, they talked. Nancy told him about her homeworld, about the crystalline spires of Kelthar Prime that sang in the wind. Parker shared stories of Earth, of oceans and mountains, and the chaotic beauty of a world still recovering from its own self-inflicted wounds. "Your species nearly destroyed itself," Nancy said. "And yet here you are, fixing the armor of aliens light years from home." "We're good at breaking things," Parker admitted, "calibrating the final power coupling. But we're even better at fixing them. It's kind of our specialty: adaptation, improvisation, stubborn refusal to give up. The galaxy has noticed." Parker finally stepped back, wiping sweat from his forehead. "All right, that should do it. Life support's stable. Shields are at 85% better than they were before. Actually, and the structural integrity is solid." Nancy stood, testing the armor's movement. The servos responded smoothly. The energy shields hummed with renewed vigor. "Impressive. You did all this without even seeing my face." "Didn't need to," Parker said with a shrug. "The armor was the problem, not the person inside it." There was a long pause. Then Nancy reached up and touched the release mechanism on her helmet. Parker was about to turn away. Privacy was privacy, after all, but Nancy's voice stopped him. "You should see this." The helmet came off with a hiss of equalizing pressure. Parker froze. He'd worked with dozens of alien species. He'd seen Caltharians before, of course tall, elegant beings with elongated features and skin that shimmered with bioluminescent patterns. But Nancy was different. Her face bore the scars of battle, a jagged line running from her temple to her jaw, another crossing her left eye, which had been replaced with a cybernetic implant that glowed with the same blue as her armor's shields. But it wasn't the scars that made Parker freeze. It was the fact that beneath those scars, beneath the cybernetics and the harsh lines etched by warfare, Nancy was breathtakingly beautiful. Her remaining natural eye was a deep violet that seemed to hold entire nebulae, and her skin's bioluminescence pulsed in patterns that spoke of emotion he couldn't quite read. But more than that, it was the look in her eye. Gratitude, yes, but also something else. Recognition, respect. Thank you, Nancy said softly. Most mechanics, even Caltharian ones, would have insisted I remove my armor entirely. They don't trust themselves to work blind. Parker found his voice. You trusted me with your life. Seemed rude to make you vulnerable while I worked. Nancy smiled, a genuine, warm expression that transformed her scarred features entirely. That's why I came to a human. You see the problem, not the person. You fix what's broken without needing to expose what isn't. She extended her hand in the human gesture of greeting that had become universal. Parker took it, her grip firm and warm despite the coldness of space outside. If you survive your mission, Parker said, come back. I'll teach you how to do these repairs yourself. And if you're still here when I return. Nancy replied, her bioluminescence shifting to what Parker somehow knew was the Caltharian expression of fondness. I'll teach you why some things are worth more than just survival. She replaced her helmet and turned toward the door. Parker watched her go, armor moving fluidly with his repairs sustaining every step. Just before she disappeared into the corridor, Nancy paused. Parker, yeah, the galaxy's lucky to have humans in it. Then she was gone, leaving Parker alone in his salvage bay with grease-stained hands and the strange certainty that he'd just witnessed something rare, a moment of perfect understanding between two beings from worlds that had never even known of each other's existence. Until a few generations ago, humans fixed things. It was what they did best. But sometimes, Parker realized, they fixed more than just machines.